I live in a tiny house on wheels in a small rural town in Australia. I chose to live in a tiny house so that I would have a comfortable future retirement, and it would allow me to retire, so to really reduce my living costs. And in order to make it even more affordable, I actually built the inside of the house myself, and my daughter helped a lot. I have now been living in the tiny house almost 2 years. I live in it and work in it and really enjoy the very low living costs and the space. It is such a comfortable space. Before I moved into the tiny house, I lived in a rental, and it had 3 bedrooms and a living room and a dining room and a kitchen, and was costly to live in. So when I started looking at living in a tiny house, I was in my mid to late 50s, and my main reason to look into initially tiny house living was financial. When COVID hit, I had a reason to review my retirement options and the financial side of that, and I realized very quickly there's no way I will be able to retire comfortably if I rented a house or bought a house. I would have to work until I was about at least 80, and decided that the tiny house could well be the solution to have a comfortable retirement, because the costs of living in a tiny house are so much less than in a normal house. As soon as I moved in, my cost of living went down and is now about a third of what I used to pay when I was still living in a house. I pay a very low parking fee, which is about 300 Australian dollars a month, but that includes electricity and water. And then I have obviously the propane to pay for, but one gas bottle lasts me almost a year because all I use it for is hot water. So that's maybe about $10 a month. And of course then I have internet, a satellite internet. And that's about it in terms of living costs. And I own the house outright, so I don't have any debt, which also obviously makes a big difference. Initially, my plan was to build it completely myself, which is quite funny because I had no DIY experience whatsoever. So to find a compromise, I had enough money to pay a tiny house builder to build a shell, and after that we did the fitting out inside ourselves as I had the money. And overall, I haven't done the exact detail of how much it cost, but it will be about 95,000 Australian dollars, and the bulk of that was for the tiny house builder, and then I had to pay an electrician and a plumber. So it's 7.2 meters long and 2.4 meters wide, and from the ground to the top is 4.5 meters. The tiny house is a tiny house on wheels, so it is on a trailer and it can be easily moved, which is one of the things that appealed to me. When you come into the house, to the right, there's my living room. There's a big IKEA daybed, which is lovely to sit and relax on and watch some TV, and has some wonderful storage drawers underneath. Then there's a little space heater that can be very helpful in winter. And then on the other side is my desk. I work from home, and that is a stand-up desk with a laptop and a monitor and a bookcase underneath. And this setup also works as my TV at night. Next to my couch is part of my wardrobe. I have some IKEA cabinets on top of each other, and on the side of that is also some space for some jackets. And then I have underneath a little basket there where I put my shoes when I've come into the house. To the side is my stairs up to my loft. And it has some just very kitcheny type things in here. And this is the second part of my wardrobe. So I've got some clothes with some baskets here and some hanging space and even more baskets for clothes. And then next to that is my pantry. Again, there's a theme, more baskets. And some more kitchen storage under here, a fridge, freezer. And I love this fridge because it makes no sound, which is very important in a tiny house. Coming into the house on the left is my dining table. It is half of the original sized dining table, so I cut it in half, but I loved it so much that I wanted to keep it. All up, we can have 4 people sitting there for dinner. On this side is my kitchen. As small as possible. I'm not a great cook, so I didn't need an awful lot of kitchen space. Again, lots of drawers because I find cabinets really difficult to see the back of, so this is really handy. And then for cooking, I have a portable induction cooktop that I can bring out, put on the bench top, and when it's done, it goes back in the drawer. So the bathroom is tiny. I definitely needed a washing machine in the tiny house and I didn't want it in the kitchen, so I had to go here, which meant that the sink needed to be higher up, which I actually quite like, so you don't have to bend over as far. It has a cabinet with a big mirror, which is very handy. And then here's a composting toilet. And then I have a corner shower with, it's called, I think, a diamond-shaped basin. We extended the electricity from the house to the tiny house. I'm also connected to town water because I'm just hooked up to a garden tap. And then I have an on-demand hot water system using propane. And I do have a portable air conditioner if it gets really, really hot. But I find that with just opening up all the windows and having a fan going, it's quite easy to keep it fairly cool. My kitchen grey water goes through a worm farm. The worms eat whatever comes from the kitchen water, and then that water is filtered through sand and some other bits, and that comes out and that goes into a garden bed just for flowers. And then I have a composting toilet, so I don't have to be hooked up to sewage at all. So I have a parking spot in the backyard of a property that is in the small town that we already lived in. The owners of this property were wonderful. I found them through a Facebook post, and I have the whole backyard, which is lovely, and they are happy for me to just make it my own, like gardening and growing my veggies. It's so lovely to live in a small space. I love the coziness of it, and it felt like home from the moment I moved in. My daughter lived with me for a year when I had first moved in, and now she lives on her own, but comes home regularly. There obviously are some challenges with living tiny. There's very little privacy in such a small house, so the lack of privacy was tough, but we kind of made it work. I realize I have a sleeping loft, but when I get older, I think at some point that will not be so comfortable anymore, so then I have to adjust where I sleep so that I can sleep downstairs. But those things I've already thought about what that might look like. It's technically not legal to live in a tiny house on wheels for most countries in the world. There are some exceptions. At the moment where I live, the government has made it legal to live in just about any type of dwelling or caravan. because we've had lots of floods and bushfires, so people are homeless otherwise. So there's a temporary legalization, if you like, of just about any type of living. But most places, it's just not legal. And so then you have to live under the radar and hopefully nobody complains. So that's an insecurity that you have to feel comfortable living with. So I work from home. I'm a self-employed qualified nutritionist, and I have an online nutrition clinic where I help women who have endometriosis to manage their symptoms by changing their diet. And I do that online, so I have clients all over the world. And then on the side, I also do some casual freelance instructional design work. I love sharing my tiny house experience online. I have a YouTube channel. It's Living in Tiny G, which I recently started. And the main reason for that is just to inspire women over 50 who worry about their future retirement and how to financially secure a comfortable future. Not just living, but also to do a lot of the fitting out and a lot of the work that needs to be done themselves. I always say, if I can do it, you can do it, because I didn't come in with any specific skills, and yet I built the inside of the house. I feel very proud of what I've achieved. The tiny house is hopefully my forever home. I hope that I can age in place, and I would love to be able to just stay in this for the rest of my life.
Subscribe to Exploring Alternatives and check out our playlists for more stories like this. You can also follow Anne-Marijke on her YouTube channel at Living in Tiny G. Thanks for watching.